it says a total of $12,000 is invested in 2 municipal bonds, one paying 10.5%, the other 12% simple interest. Last year, the annual interest earned on the 2 investments was $1,335. How much was invested at each rate? We now need to note that when it's simple interest, that interest is equal to principal times rate times time. You need that for the second equation. That's the things that used to drive me crazy in physics. I could get the first thing, couldn't get the second because I didn't know what I needed in order to do that. So there are 2 equations here. I have a total equation and I have an interest equation. The first thing I have to do is I have to define the variables. And oftentimes, if the letters are different, I just use the letters. Unfortunately, 10 begins with T and 12 begins with T, so I can't let T be equal to, that doesn't give me anything. So 20 begins with T too. I'd be, in number-wise, I'm really in a mess, aren't I? Well, unless it were 6 begins with an S, I'd be okay. So we'll just do X and Y. So we're going to let X be equal to the amount at, the first percent is 10.5%. Tell me where you're getting these interest rates. Please, please, please. Interest on our money now is usually about 1% if you're lucky. Well, maybe 2% if you're lucky. If it's in there for a long time, you might be able to get 2.5. And Y is the amount at 12%. But of course, if you're getting 12% and 10.5%, then the risk has to be pretty high. Higher the percent, the greater the risk. So what do I know? I know the total is that X plus Y has to be 12,000. And the interest, remember, interest is principal times rate times time is equal to interest. And for 1 year, T is 1. It's just PR. So it's going to be and let's see, 10.5%, 0.105 X plus 0.12 Y equals 1335. And then we got to determine how you want to work it. Unfortunately, you'd have to multiply through to clear the decimal. You'd have to multiply through by 1,000 because this has to be moved over 3 places. But then you'd have to add 3 zeros to this. It gets to be unpleasant. It might be just better, which is what I did, to work it using the decimals. So here's your first, here's your second. I decided to eliminate Y since I didn't have 3 digits. So I chose to multiply negative 0.12 times the first one and add it to the second one. So I get negative 0.12x plus negative 0.12y equals negative 1440. That's negative 0.12 times, and since that's a plus minus, this turns into a minus. Then I'm going to add a 2, 0.105x plus 0.12y equals 1335. So the y's drop, and I'm going to get negative 0.015x equals negative 105. So I kept my handy-dandy calculator beside me the whole time I'm working this problem. Otherwise, I can't do these decimals in my head. So that's what you're going to need to do. Just keep something handy. So x is going to be equal to negative 105 divided by negative 0.015. And it came out to be $7,000 at 10.5%. This is when life then becomes easy, because I know that the two investments have to add together to give me 12,000. So that's 7,000 plus y equals 12,000. Now we're home free. Or y is $5,000 at 12%.